Hi, I'm Em, an avid wargamer who runs social media accounts focused on promoting women in wargaming and creating inclusion-positive communities. As well as running women in wargaming events, I wanted to create a series focusing on the variety, creativity and skill of women in our hobby. So join me across this series as we explore the passion and joy women have for our hobby. Meg is a UK hobbyist specialising in painting beautiful creatures that mirror her real-life passion for animal care and education. Her mastery of the colour purple is evident through her incredible necron army. Meg is a keen Bloodbowl and DnD player, often playing with her extended family members.
Hi Meg, and welcome to your episode of the Women in Wargaming series. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Good. I'm really excited to have you as well. So let's get started. So how did you start your wargaming journey?
So I was introduced through my relationship. So I met my partner Mike back in 2023. And him and his family have always really been into Warhammer since they were kids. He's one of three boys, and they grew up with it. So when I got with him, it was around. Him and his brothers would play it, and I'd never been made aware of it beforehand. And I remember kind of sitting and watching some of his brothers play it, and I was like, this is not my thing at all. I had no interest in it. He did play Dungeons and Dragons as well, and I always wanted to play that, but I didn't really come from a family or a friendship group where that was the type of thing. So very quickly got into Dungeons and Dragons, and that is now a hardcore obsession. But the Warhammer wasn't really, or the model painting or anything like that wasn't on my radar. And then we had a bit of a long distance relationship for a while because of his work, and I was really struggling with it. And I met Millie Paints, who is my partner's sister-in-law. And I started hanging out with them, and she was like, why didn't you give it a go? She kind of showed me what she does, and she assured me that it's not just the war gaming side, it's in the tabletop gaming. You can do the painting and the lore and everything like that, and all the audio books and the physical books. And I was like, oh, okay, this is maybe something. And in October of 2023, they bought me a Doomstalker, and they're like, just give it a go, it'll keep you occupied. And then I was kind of hooked on the painting, and then January I kind of started doing it on my own. And then it's just kind of gone from there. So it's kind of introduced to it through my relationship and his family, and then introduced to the Instagram community, which has then spiraled it into kind of what it is today, with it being more of a common hobby. And it's encouraged me to explore the other areas of the hobby as well a little bit more too. So it was a nice slow introduction. He was desperate for me to get into it immediately. He was really annoyed when he came back, and he was like, look what I've got her to do. And he was like, I've been trying to get her to just paint a figure for months. He was so annoyed, but it was really nice. It was cool to be able to go, look, I did a thing that you love.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice that you have that. I don't have that with my husband in any way, shape or form. So it's really nice that you have that with your partner, and you can sit down and do that hobby together as well. So
yeah, it's a perfect little date night in. It's really nice.
Exactly. I tried to get my husband to build a miniature once, and he was like, it's good, but it's so fiddly. He had the arms pointing in the wrong direction and trying to, you know how they hold the gun across two hands? Well, he'd positioned it so it was like this. And I had to really politely be like, no, you have no idea how much these models cost either. So I was there with the clippers.
What shocked me. Getting into it. I'd seen him with all his models, and he was always so precious. Oh, look at this. And I'd pick it up and be careful. And then getting into it, I'm like, I understand now.
Yeah,
this is serious.
Exactly. So we touched on sort of your love of D&D and the way you got into Warhammer. Are there any other game systems that you've been drawn to? I, in particular, am thinking of your Blood Bowl as well, because they're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. I've seen them in real life, and they're really nice.
That is the new one. So I've had a go at playing 40k a couple of times. And I enjoy it, but it takes a lot of brain power for me, and I struggle with learning new things. I can get really overwhelmed easily with all the numbers and things to remember, and Mike and his brothers are all sponges. They just absorb everything instantly. I'm not like that. So 40k, I want to learn it, but it's a slow process. I'm not enjoying learning it, but I want to play. Whereas Blood Bowl, when we found out about that, and we kind of went, yeah, let's give it a go. Again, it was Millie and Sam that were like, come over and have a game. So we had a game with their teams, and we're like, this is actually really good. Like, it's a shorter game. It's faster paced. There's not as much to kind of memorize. And I love the way that the teams are as well. They're a little less serious, and it's a bit silly and fun. So then we came home, we ordered our teams, and that was that then. Then we're like, every now and then we're like, should we just play Blood Bowl? Can we play do you reckon we've got time for a game of Blood Bowl? Yeah. And it is really fun. It's just a silly, goofy game. And I love my little lizard people because I love reptiles, an unhealthy amount. So it's perfect for me. It's a really nice game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was saying just before we started this that I'm jealous of one of the side ventures you have of the reptile teaching aspects. So that's really nice that you can kind of pull your hobby in with your other passions and things like that. So obviously we talked a little bit about the tabletop, and obviously I've seen your paint jobs, they're beautiful. Would you say that those two are the main elements that draw you in? But I'm also thinking of D&D where you have the lore. So what are the elements that you most enjoy from wargaming?
So it does vary. Like you say, with the D&D, I do love kind of more so the lore. Like, I don't paint D&D miniatures or anything like that. I would like to. I've seen a few models that I think would be fun to paint. But I haven't really painted any miniatures for D&D. That's very much more Warhammer the painting is, and Blood Bowl. But the lore, I love the world. I love all the different races and species you can play. Like, I love that. It very much anything fantasy. So when it comes to books, I'm reading fantasy. When it comes to movies, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, things like that, I'm all over. So for D&D, it's definitely the lore. When it comes to the Warhammer world, the lore, I have no idea. When I go into like Warhammer shops and people start talking to me about lore, I'm like, I've checked out. I've tried, and quite often the audiobooks will be on when we fall asleep in the night, but I don't take much in. It doesn't compute with me. I would like to. I've looked into obviously Necron lore because that was my first army, and I wanted to know what they're about. So I have a rough gist, but I don't know all the ins and outs of the lore in depth. For me, it's definitely the creative side of the painting, the therapeutic creative process, that nice end model that I get to look at. Blood Bowl, it's the playing that I love as well. So it kind of varies from each different system what draws me to that. It does vary massively. Painting is obviously what got me into it initially, and I think that's something that I'm always going to love more so than the other aspects.
And that brings me really nicely on to my next question, because it's beautiful that you have all of those aspects and those loves for all those different like elements. But what would you say is the favourite model that you've ever painted so far?
It's a real tough one. It's like being asked to choose your favourite pet or your favourite child.
I was going to say, if there's like one from each different game that you like, you know, like you've got a favourite Blood Bowl or you've got a favourite 40k, like from a different faction, like feel free to tell us about that if that's a bit easier.
I think obviously the Doomstalker was my first model that I sat down and painted, and I think that will always kind of be special to me for that reason. I think that's always going to be one of my favourites for that reason. I think it's funny because going back, I know I could probably redo it now and it'd be better, but I don't want to. It's perfect as it is because that's what started it all. From my 40k Necrons, it's probably going to be Imhotep, the Stormlord. He's an awesome model. Like, it's such a good model.
Gorgeous with the sculpt and everything, isn't he?
Just amazing, and like the cape and everything. When I first saw it, I was like, I need that model in my army. I don't care if it's good or bad, I want it. And I remember that was, not only is it one of skill wise one of my proudest things, like I think it is one of my best showcases of the skill that I have. It was a fun model to paint. There wasn't any points of stress or anything like that. Like, I sat down on the morning, primed him. By the evening, he was done, which is fast. It was stress-free. It was just a really nice, fun model to paint. But then, obviously, I've got my lizards, my lizard men for my Blood Bowl, and it's just everything that I love. It's like, it's a miniature that I get to paint. It's also a lizard. Like, it's great. I got to nerd out a little bit and try and paint them to match an actual lizard species, and I was like, this is just so fun. So my chameleon skink is probably one of my favourites from them as well. Yeah, it's a really tough decision, but they're the three that kind of stick out the most for me personally.
Yeah, and it is very much like trying to, as you said, trying to pick your favourite kid or your favourite pet, and it's nice that you have something from each element that you can call upon, and also it's a very broad range of your skill set as well, as you've painted them at different stages throughout your hobby journey. And like I've seen your Blood Bowl team, as I've said, and they're beautiful. Like I'd love to see some more of your work in person next time I see you. But yeah, they're gorgeous. So yeah, if you've got any pictures of them, I'm sure we'd like to flash them up.
Oh yeah,
on
I'll send them over. It was nice to have a break from painting purple as well, because if anyone looks at my Instagram, it's all of my Necrons are purple, and then I was like, oh, I'll mix it up, and I got myself some Slaves to Darkness, one of the Exalted Heroes of Chaos, because again, awesome model. Fancied having a look at Age of Sigmar, and I was like, this is great. I'm gonna like create a real cool like greenish colour scheme, and he ended up purple. It didn't work. I was about to do the cape, and I was like, this just needs to be purple. So he's purple as well. So then when it came to the Blood Bowl, I was like, oh, I can actually use other colours now. So yeah, that's one of the other reasons I think that they're special to me, because they're just different from the rest. They stand out.
Exactly. It's not your sort of usual style that you'd done before. So yeah, that was really nice. So that brings us into the next question, which is, if you could only play one more game in your life, what game would that be?
Blood Bowl. Shocking. Yeah, Blood Bowl hands down. You can either play like just half a game. It takes like an hour to 2 hours. You could play the full game. You could do a league. Like there's a lot you can do with the game itself. There's a lot to do. Like you can play multiple people. Every team's different. It's just like I say, it is just a fun, uplifting game. You have some really, really good laughs. Just brilliant. There's been some moments from some of the games that I've played, especially with like Millie and Sam, where we both ended up screaming and getting like irate and really excited and like crying with laughter. And I haven't played any other like tabletop game, even like board games, that have brought that. So I think, yeah, hands down Blood Bowl.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking about it as well. I know that your partner, Millie and Sam, you're all in this D&D world together, aren't you, as well? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Because I've heard third hand about this, obviously, from Millie, but I'd love to hear about it from you.
It's absolutely brilliant. So tonight is our D&D night. We discussed briefly about Millie kind of showcasing it more, but she's very Warhammer-esque at the moment, but we've both said that it'd be nice to introduce that more. So my partner Mike, he's the DM for this session, and then there are me, Millie, and Sam playing. So I'm playing as a wood elf druid called Ren. She's very religious. She's very like neutral good. She's just following what her religion tells her to do. Very in touch with the animals. She's very much into like the wild shape, speaking with animals, which is right up my street because I'm a massive animal nerd. So whenever like Mike turns around and goes, oh, you can't do that, I'm like, actually this animal has this ability, so realistically it would behave. And we're like, oh, I hate that. Absolutely brilliant.
You can go full nerd with it.
yeah. Like last session, we had to interrogate someone that we found, and we need to intimidate him. I was like, I'll turn into a venomous snake and all this. And then Mike was like, okay, well, I don't think you're really scared. I was like, I'll be a Gaboon vibe, and I'm talking about like the size of the fangs and what would happen when they bite and all this, that, and the other. And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you can roll with advantage for that, I suppose. So I play as a druid. Sam is playing as a human ranger called Rook, who is the remnants of what was quite a big criminal circle that's fallen through. And then Millie is playing as Aelith, who is another elf, but she is a bard, and she has a big mastiff dog called Quill. And so it's fun because my character will just sit when they're not around and talk to the dog and get all the juicy gossip on Millie's character. Or me and Millie will like talk in elf with each other and just like ignore Sam and things like that. But it's been a really good campaign so far. It's been a really good campaign so far. It's been really fun, lots of giggles, and it's nice to have that weekly thing where Sam gets home from work and can switch off and do that. Obviously, Millie's up to her ears with streaming and content making, so it's nice for her to sit and just play something. It's nice to all sit together and just chill out for a few hours and immerse ourselves in a fantasy world where we can be whatever we want. It's been really, really fun, and I'm looking forward to where the story takes us, because it's been very interesting so far. Lots of funny moments. I'm sure at some point it'll end up leaking onto Instagram or Twitch or something somewhere.
We can only live in hope, because I love hearing about this, and I'd love to learn how to play D&D. It's like one of my aims for the next year or so is to learn how to play D&D, and
Oh yeah.
I have like third-hand jealousy hearing about your sessions, so they always
It's
sound
so fun.
incredible. Yeah.
It's so fun. And you get all the pretty dice to collect as well, which is great.
Exactly. I've got a couple of D20s knocking about, because they just come in like the sets that you get, and I'm
Yeah.
always like, ooh, shiny little rocks. So yeah. You've talked about like the immersion and the switching off and things like that. How do you find that your hobby helps with your mental health?
It helps massively. So when I first got into it, I was in quite a tough spot really mentally. Obviously, I was trying to navigate a long distance relationship with like minimal contact and stuff, which is not something I've done before. And I'm quite a needy partner as such. I like to have my partner around. I don't cope well with distance or anything like that. So having that escape and that thing where I can sit and switch off and put my focus into something, and at the end of it have a product, like that gives you that sense of accomplishment and productivity. It helps switch off that brain and all that overthinking. So the painting has been absolutely brilliant. It's also helped my confidence in the fact of when I started my Instagram account, putting my work out there to be like critiqued by essentially the world, because anyone can find those pictures and comment on them, and touch wood, it's been nice stuff so far. But that was quite a thing, because I was
Yeah.
like, these aren't good enough to go out. And then when I started posting and getting like likes and comments, people going, oh, I love this, I love the colours, I was like, oh, maybe I'm quite good at this. So that was really good for my confidence as well. It made me feel like I had something that I was doing good at and that also I enjoyed, and it gave me those endorphins. So it's been a big help from the mental health standpoint. It's a really good hobby to come back to, just to help me feel calm and grounded and like I'm doing something productive with my time.
Yeah, exactly. And I can also confirm that you are a brilliant painter, Meg, and I've told you that in person as well. So, yes. How do you find thinking about your online community and also your in-person community? How do you find the levels of sort of female support that you get from other women as being a woman in wargaming?
Um, from what I've experienced, it's been nothing but supportive. I haven't come across anything negative or nasty thus far, especially with like women. Obviously I'm not a massive account, so I don't gain like loads of traction as such. The more traction you're going to get and the more attention you get, the more chance you got at having something negative coming your way. But so far it's been very good. Obviously Millie is my go-to when it comes to a female character in the community, and she has been nothing but supportive. She's been absolutely incredible and so patient with me. So I can't knock her. I'm not the most interactive in the kind of the wargaming community. I want to be more interactive, but life is just so chaotic and I don't have the time to be socializing as much. Everyone that I have spoken to, like when we've replied to each other's stories or first followed each other, the conversations and the communication have always been so nice, like so just genuine and supportive with the girls, which is awesome, because I feel like a lot of girls and a lot of women in some areas, there can be that underlying bitchiness there and that competitive thing where it's like, oh, I need to be better than you, I need to be prettier than you. And there's not that in this community, which is awesome. There's no kind of discrimination at all. That goes across the whole, sit from males, females, non-binary, like anyone. They've all just been so welcoming and open, and seeing that other people be welcomed into the community as well has been awesome. And obviously I went to the Outrider Games event there. Everyone that spoke there and met there, absolutely lovely, really nice, and just excited to see models, see what you've done, see what you're playing, talk to you. So I was really surprised at how welcoming and lovely the community was, especially with the women. When I started getting into it, I think I was more worried about the girls than I was the men. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, the men, the worst they're going to say is that you don't know what you're doing or something, or you're in the wrong hobby. Girls can get nasty, but they weren't. They've all been lovely. So yeah, I can't knock it. I felt very welcomed and very safe within the community. It's been lovely, and all the women are just badass. They're so good. I love it. I love when I see like these real gruesome, nasty models. And I'm like, oh, that's a female account. I'm like, yeah, brilliant.
It's like the sort of converted great unclean ones, isn't it? Where there's like entrails hanging out, and they're always painted by women. And these like
Yeah.
really creepy Tyranids, always painted by women. And it's great. We're just like,
you see all that, and you're like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And then you see like a pink space marine, like that is also so cool.
yeah,
Like just having the freedom to do whatever you want, and like make it girly or just not make it girly, make it as gruesome and gross and dark as possible. There's some real talented female painters out there. Some real ambassadors.
Yeah, a lot of talented female painters, and it's nice that they're starting to get the wider recognition that they deserve in terms of not only online media support, but like competitions and things like that, and seeing women wins silvers and golds and highly commended and things like that. Like that's just always lovely to see. Yes. So we're just coming up on time now, and I don't want to hold you back from going to D&D this evening. But just as a closing thought, if there was one thing that you could pass on to another woman, whether that be a skill or a piece of advice, what would that be, Meg?
For me, it would be, don't be afraid of doing it wrong, because you can't do it wrong, and just do it your way. So even if you don't know about the law, even if you don't know what army to pick, or you're worried about picking the wrong army, there is no wrong. You paint whatever you want to paint, do it however you want to do it, whatever colours, whatever techniques. Just do it so it makes you happy. Play however makes you happy. Just make it yours. Don't feel like you have to come in here and follow the set rules that everyone else has laid out. It's a very relaxed freestyle hobby. You can do it however you want to do it. If you want to make your Space Marines pink and glittery, then go for it.
Perfect. Yeah, and I love a pink glittery Space Marine because it just sort of defies what they're meant to be, and I love that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Meg. It's been amazing to speak to you. I've really enjoyed this conversation. And is there anyone in particular that you would like to give a shout out to just as we close?
There's a couple that come to mind. There is War Mama, who I met at Outrider Games. She is a lovely person and she posts some really cool stuff. Chloe paints. Her stuff again, it's just so cool to see, and her skills are awesome. Millie paints because she is one of the purest, nicest human beings ever, and a lot of her community as well that goes with it. A lot of her moderators in her Discord and all the people that go into her Twitch and her Instagram, all of those people are so nice and warm and welcoming. And then, of course, there's Red Dog Painting, Sam, and Mike Makes Minis as well, who is my Mike as well, because he's helped me out with a lot of the painting and a lot of the mini meltdowns when models not gone quite right. So yeah, they are the ones that I think stand out for me in the community as in person great, and also what they produce is just incredible. It's so cool to see.
Exactly. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Meg. And I will post the links to your socials below for anyone that is interested. But yes, thank you and enjoy the rest of your day, my lovely.
Thank you very much. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Women in Wargaming series, and thank you to all of my guests who have appeared this series. If you've enjoyed what you've watched, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel and following me on Instagram at ElderExarch.